Today's cars can come with a list of safety features a mile long. But at Safe Wheels, we believe the most important feature a car can have is an educated driver. That's why Saturn of Naperville started Safe Wheels, to educate students at an early age about safe driving. This nationally recognized program hosts day-long field trips and presentations that teach kids the importance of driving defensively. By simulating the impact of a head-on collision, students will learn the importance of wearing a seatbelt. Airbags will also be detonated so students can see the speed and force of deployment. They'll also get to see, firsthand, damaged cars and learn of the financial ramifications that arise from being in an auto accident. They'll meet and talk with police officers and insurance agents to discuss recent accidents, how they could have been avoided, and the results that these moving violations could have on their driving and insurance records. Most importantly, students will don fatal vision goggles to experience how driving under the influence can impair coordination, slow reflexes, and lead to a possibly fatal accident. Safety under the hood will also be touched on, as students learn the correct way to jump a battery and change a tire. We at Safe Wheels believe in this program and think the results speak for themselves. We ask that you give your support so today's children have a better understanding of the rules of the road before coming to the conclusion on their own that some rules were never made to be broken.
I tell all my students a life and death situation. You can get killed in a car crash, and in your age group, statistically, that's how you die, is in a car crash.
It's a great statement in terms of what getting into the community and having community involvement and having a true partnership with your community.
I approached Saturn approximately about 1.5 years or 2 years ago. I had wanted to do a business partnership program. A lot of the departments in our high school had something going. I'm like, oh, I want to do something with our driver program, and so I stopped in at Saturn and talked with Ron, and that being Ron Sobalski here, the general manager here at Saturn, and we had a good talk, and I told him what I wanted to do is basically maybe start this field trip, maybe you can donate some cars to us, and we went from there. He approached our superintendent, who was Don Weber, and I think the spring of '97 we signed a business partnership through District 203 and Saturn.
The partnership includes a field trip to our dealership. We host 200 kids a day, 3 times a year. 100 students come to the dealership at a time. We break that 100 into groups of 25. The students rotate through 4 stations. The stations include the cutaway car and airbag demonstration, fatal vision goggles, body shop and seatbelt convincer, and the police and insurance.
We learn through research. The kids learn in a variety of ways. They learn through experience, or they learn through seeing, or they learn through listening. And here at Saturn, they get all of those activities all at the same time. So kids are not just visual learners or auditory learners. They learn in all of those different capacities, and here they see all 3 of those at the same time. So any combination thereof, anytime you can keep sending the same message over and over again, you'll never know when it's going to sink home with the students. So that's what you hope is going to happen here.
It's hands-on, it's visual, and it's verbal presentation. All of those are the key notions. What makes it different? It's here at the dealer.
One of the things the students do during their visit is an exercise using fatal vision goggles. This experience may seem like fun, but the goggles represent a real-life situation that's very serious. The fatal vision goggles simulate the effects of drunkenness on vision at a 0.15 blood alcohol level. When kids wear them, they have to try to pick up a set of keys from the floor and then try to walk a straight line. After they try the goggles, the kids readily admit that they couldn't possibly operate a car in that condition. To encourage students to interact with presenters, we developed an incentive program. For each correct answer to questions, students receive Saturn Bucks. The student with the most Saturn Bucks at the end of the tour wins a $25 gift certificate to purchase Saturn merchandise. In addition, each student receives a pen, brochures, a mouse pad, and a phone card. We encourage the kids to keep the phone cards to use in emergencies, especially if they need to call home for a ride.
All of the responses we've gotten back from kids in surveys said that it was a worthwhile experience for them. They've enjoyed the experience, they've learned a lot, they didn't know some of the things that they learned here, or they may have heard them, but had seen them and finally realized what people have been trying to tell them.
This is nothing but positive. The very first time we had it, it was, you know, an experiment. When we brought our kids over, Ron called me like once a day saying, what can we delete, what can we add? And one thing led to another, and there's nothing but positive press through our driver ed program, District 203, Saturn. You know, I know Ron has sold, you know, 5 or 6 Saturns. You know, so it's a winning situation for everybody.
Seeing the man that was talking about his personal accident and his car kind of hit home, I guess because he was talking about it as if it was just an accident, and then he kind of said, well, by the way, it was me, and it was kind of like, yeah, well, it kind of gives a face to all the statistics. I mean, you hear all the numbers all the time, but then when you actually meet somebody who's been through an experience like that, it kind of solidifies the facts for you.
When you find an agency that is willing to partner with others, as this Saturn dealership has, it's an excellent example of where we need to go for the future.
We keep them interested. You've got airbags being detonated, you've got police officers with real pictures, you've got the convincer, which is a hands-on activity, you've got the visual of the vehicles. It's right there, hands-on, and I'll tell you right now, the look on the kids' faces when that gentleman says, I was the driver of this vehicle that was involved in the crash, it hits. And our whole idea is, we're not saying we're going to save the world, but if we get to 1 or 2 and save 1 or 2 problems, or we make it harder for them to do something self-destructive, we've done our job.